Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the plot tour at the end of May. And it's been a dry one, and it's now a windy one. But we've had a lot of volunteer foxgloves this year, so they're kind of filling in the colour gap until the summer flowers can get going. So they're all looking very nice. That's a good indication of how dry it's been. This Cenotia, it's hardly even got going yet, and it's got mildew. So it usually does later on in the year, but not usually in May. So the strawberries are giving us the best strawberries we've ever had. They're huge, but only on the right hand side here. The ones I transplanted over there, well, we never really had a wet enough spell in the early part of spring to actually successfully transfer them, plus the fact that strawberries seem to hate that side. So this is going to be a fallow bed. I've actually sort of transplanted in some borage and chicory in the back there, and we'll probably put in a few odds and sods just to keep some living root in the ground. And the blackcurrants and the gooseberry, they're doing well. Just keeping on top of the watering for them, making up for what's lacking from the sky. Carrots, we've finished the third successional sowing, so they're kind of in sort of tiers of size. Strawberry bath, giving us some, not much. Anything in a container, given how dry it's been, is going to be suffering. The meadow's looking good. Again, a few sort of volunteer foxgloves have helped there, and by sheer luck we seem to have had this iris flowering at the same time as the golden celebration rose. It looks a lot better in the thumbnail. It was far better at the beginning of May than it is now. Orchard's looking nice. So just today, just about 5 minutes ago, these tomatoes have gone in down the centre with marigolds on either side. We've got courgettes flanked by strawberries around the perimeter. They're going well so far. So we've just done a weed and drop of the weeds in here with the shallots and garlic. Garlic, of course, has already started to have white rot for various ones, which is always the case on this plot. More tomatoes and marigolds. We're going to be putting in French beans in along the side there as well. And the lettuce with the beetroots, and we've got some cabbages down the middle. We've got some fenugreek just sprouting up there. It's another living root in the ground. So just one of the bean wigwams up so far, and the beans went in about 3 days ago. No sign of them yet, but we did a viability test on our saved seed, which these are, and they were 100% successful, so high hopes there. And of course the peach has started its leaf curl, having not given us any fruit. But that's pretty much the only fruit tree that hasn't. It's been a very good year for the fruit trees. And our orange lily going bonkers as usual. And again, another thing that's happened today is the tomatoes gone in the front there with their marigold friends. Now this potato is the best of the bunch. This planter I made out of an old water butt. I was going to put in some flowers, but I had some spare potatoes from last year. I thought, oh, what the heck. And it's just absolutely loving the situation. So we have the peony looking nice. The red love apple tree absolutely covered in apples, as it was last year. Nothing happening here. I've basically buried the daffodil foliage, and that's going to be planted up at some point. Likewise with the planters on either side of the rose arch. And the bank's looking good. I always have to keep an eye on the hedge though, because it can get away from me sometimes. I just forget about it and then realise that it's put on a huge amount of growth. Penstemon doing really well there, as is the hosta. So the quad grow is prepped and ready, but the peppers aren't in yet. We've had still having cold nights, so hopefully those are going to be over soon. And what's also over is the yellow iris in the pond. Dahlias are looking good. I have put in, for the first time, I've actually remembered to put in the supports to stop them from crashing over the top of each other and just flopping all over the place. Daylilies are good, looking fine. Pinks are out. So Gertrude Jekyll, she is looking good. Again, was looking a little bit better early in the month, but that's always the way with these videos. Now the pluot is absolutely covered in fruit. I counted at least 85, given that it's only ever given us 2 before. It's one of the examples of how things are going so well. And the beds in general underneath are doing really well too. Raspberries, they're coming on, hoping for a good harvest there. We've sort of let them spread over here to the left where we used to have some strawberries, and actually the ones that were just allowed to do their thing, the canes, have produced the best fruit. And this is a super column. Look at the plums there. This is called Black Prince, which was founded. That's probably not the right word for when a tree came into production, but that was started in 1923. So it's been on the go for a while, that one, but not on this plot. So parsnips, not very good germination for the first sowing. I think we only got about 6 stations we've re-sown, so we'll just have to take what we get. Sweet corn, that's come up under the first of 8 of the 12 we put in, apart from this one's been slugged, so we may have to grow some at home and put them in. So we've got again another lot of tomatoes and marigolds, and garlic and onions in this bed here. It's looking good. And this is our mixed bed of odds and sods, mostly garlic. We've got one of the allotment volunteer poppies in there. Be interesting to see what colour that is. And the honeysuckle survived the winter, so I'm going to be training that along, weaving it in. We might actually have to put in some new horizontal wires just to give it some space. Pears are looking good. It's been thinning itself out, but we still have, it looks like at least 20, which would be far more than the one that has given us thus far. But the trees, they've been in for about just over 7 years now, and they have finally sort of established themselves. This is one of the issues when you plant trees into an area that doesn't have trees. It just doesn't have the microbiome, sort of the setup in the soil for trees. It'll have to establish itself. This plum tree, the Victoria, covered in plums, but the green gauge, that one's winning in terms of its coverage. So I'll make my way through the Nigella. Fairly decent amount of blossom on the blackberry. We've got a few dahlias coming up, but they are getting slugged now. We are actually getting some rain. So we're gonna have a look at the damson. Where are they? Finally we have some damson fruit. Not enough for jam, but maybe stew a few. And the potatoes here not doing as well as the one in front of the, or to the side of the shed, but they're gradually getting going. I will mention this, as we have had a volunteer asparagus. So it's been pooped out of a bird. I imagine somebody else on the plot has got asparagus. So finally we have asparagus. I always wanted some, but we never really had a space for it. I have actually transplanted some of those daffodils that were at the side of the compost bays. They've gone in there. I lifted them and then just basically spread them around the plot. So we'll find out how they look next year. And that's it, at a busy time of the year. Hope everybody's keeping well. I will catch you in next month's video. Bye for now.